Welcome to Hops News, the trusted source in beer culture news. Here's your host, Jay Brew, with special guests, the Hoppy Mommy, Lucky, and Mash.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Hops News. Got a good one lined up for you guys tonight. Gonna talk Oktoberfest, and I'll share mine real quick. Got started a little early, so not much left. Old Hickory Brewery Oktoberfest, a Marzen style lager. I was looking forward to cracking into that one this evening. Hey, some exciting times with beer out. Oktoberfest, it's getting cold. It is actually too cold to be outside up here in Blowing Rock already. So back inside, sitting at the little desk with a green screen in the back, not enjoying the outdoors like I grew accustomed to in the warmer months. But football's in the air, and we're back on the gridiron tomorrow. So I'm going to work from home maybe for a couple hours in the morning, fire up the band, and throw the beer in the cooler with some ice, and we're headed to the tailgate early. So we'll be out there getting started for a 7:30 p.m. game. We'll be fired up in probably a case or two or three, depending on how many people show up into it before the 7:30 hour. So looking forward to that. Great football. If you're a college football fan, you've got to be enjoying the past couple of weeks. Been some great games. Let's go check in. Speaking of college football, let's go check in with Mash. Mash went to a Boise State game out there in Idaho. Mash, how was the game?
Well, first of all, I gotta give it to old Boise State there. Like the atmosphere is actually wicked good. Really excited. There's like 37,000 people there, which I didn't know that many people lived in Idaho to begin with. But yeah, the atmosphere is great. We went to Western Proper, had some beers beforehand, and then like this really bad windstorm blew through, and I was like, man, there's nobody kicking a field goal tonight. But it died down, and honestly, for the game, it was like the 50s for the game, a slight breeze, and the stadium was amazing. Honestly, inside they got beers. They're finally selling alcohol in there, so I had a pub lager from 10 Barrel, even though they're not a great brewery, but it was such a great game. But I have some takeaways with the refs. Of course, Boise State should have put them away. However, there was like 2 minutes to go in the game, and the guy had just been gashing. Warren from Oklahoma State had just been gashing Boise's defense the whole night. And then he fumbles, and Boise scoops and scores. Yet halfway up the field on a scoop and score, the refs decided to blow it dead. and be like, no, it's not a fumble. And then like, okay, actually, we're going to review it after 5 to 7 minutes of deliberation. And they're like, oh yeah, it was a fumble, but no touchdown. And then the dumbass coach for Boise State was like, let's just go as fast as we can and burn like 30 seconds off the clock. And then they went to kick a field goal and that got blocked. So they ended up losing. Not the outcome. They should have won that game because they were the better team. They were up 20-7 at one point. There was a couple iffy calls, but overall though, it was a good time. I might try. I want to take my son next Saturday. They're playing actually at 1:30 against Nevada for their homecoming next week. So I would like to, but I don't know. We'll see how it all goes. I am drinking an Oktoberfest though. I'm drinking Barbarian Brewing. This beer actually I think was supposed to go out to Lauren over there, but I'm drinking it so I can always get more. My bad. But yeah, no, it's a good beer. It's your typical style, Oktoberfest beer. I had the Sam Adams hat. If you guys remember, we were on a Sam Adams winning streak last year, so I got the hat.
Nice. I was wondering what you were wearing, and you took it off. I'm like, what happened to his hat?
I couldn't get my headphones to fit right to where I can still hear the kids out there, in case something goes happen. Because my kids, they just want to beat each other down. But yeah, it's getting cool here. The mornings are 48 degrees. The afternoons are 70 degrees. And it's the first day of fall. It's pumpkin season officially. So no more hate. Leave your hate in the summer because you guys were cranky enough. See, the way I see it is summer, everyone gets so cranky about pumpkin spice because they're just full of hate from the heat of summer. Well, now it's fall. So leave it back there. Let's get spooky. And Jay, I actually really like that shirt you're wearing tonight. That's a good looking shirt. Like I appreciate a really nice looking shirt. And so if I might say, even though it's Appalachian State,
I appreciate it. Yeah, it is. It's a long sleeve. It's one of the staff shirts, but it's a long sleeve and it's pretty cozy. So I appreciate that. And yeah, Boise State, man, that's a team. They've already been in the conversations. It's going to be interesting to see where they end up in college football when the shakeup is over. Obviously, conversations about the Big 12, conversations about the Pac-12. Conversations about the AAC. I mean, it'd be kind of fun to fly out to Boise every once in a while and play you guys and put some good G5 teams on the field together. That'd be a ball.
Honestly, though, they've shown because they've hung with Oklahoma State now the last 2 times that they've played them. So they've shown that they in any Power 5 conference that they've played. Even UCF, who's moving to the Big 12, they can hang with the big guys, and I think that. If they do make the move, that's going to obviously help recruiting a lot, which is going to bolster the program even more. So, I think they deserve a spot somewhere. I'm interested to see. So they can still win the Mountain West, which I think if they win the Mountain West still, even with 2 losses, then anything's in play.
Yeah, well, I mean, they haven't started conference play like everybody else, so none of these games really matter in the conference championships. I mean,
no, not yet. No.
Usually shakes out within the conference to figure out those champions.
They do have BYU like mid-October down in Utah, and so I'm interested to see how that one shakes out because
that'll be a big game too.
They've always played each other really tight.
Yeah. Awesome. That sounds like a delicious beer out there too, and 10 Barrel. I think I've heard of 10 Barrel before. Are they like a big brewery now? Are they owned by Anheuser-Busch or something?
They are, yep. They used to be a small time, out in Oregon, California, where it was actually Portland. They're like a small time brewery. They have one here in Boise, but all the local breweries are like, fuck those guys. Nobody should drink there because they're a giant brewery and they kind of try to bully around the smaller breweries here. So they're owned by Anheuser-Busch, and
yeah, I was going to say, I thought I've heard of them before, and I guess when I first heard of them, it was probably about how good they were doing and how good their beer is, but that was probably before they were purchased. But
the lager wasn't bad by all means, but obviously I want to support, my friends who are, brewers and stuff here. Speaking of which, Western Collective had a marketing director position open up now for their brewery, and I was like, dude, I want to apply for that so bad. I even texted their owner, and I was like, bro, you have no idea how bad I want to apply for this job right now. And he's like, it's a lot harder than people would think because of our brand. And I was like, yeah, but you also appeal to everybody because the way their brand is, like they appeal to literally everybody, whether it's, games, arcades, the Western style, coffee, food, wine, beer, they do it all. And he's like, yeah, so it makes it hard. And I'm like, no, my friend, not at all. But unfortunately, I don't think my wife would take too kindly of me being like, you know what, I'm out of this old military gig. Let me go slide in. And then we're going to stay in Boise for God knows how long. So
There's no exit
There is no
strategy.
escaping that point. I might as well open my own brewery at a point.
Yeah, man. I mean, sometimes you just got to take that shot. You see the position that sounds good, just take the shot. You never know what comes of it, man.
I mean, I'll see where I'm at in a couple of years. Honestly, if I see something open up like that shipyard gig again, and God, I might just take it. Dude, you
Yeah.
never know. Who knows where life will take us? And my beer, by the way, speaking of beer, I'm gonna bottle it this weekend. It's gonna
Ooh,
be bottled this weekend. So hoping I didn't fuck it up. We'll see.
I'm looking forward to trying that one out.
Yeah, me too.
I guess we'll. We'll see what happens in a couple of weeks. It's due actually right before my birthday. My birthday's the 15th, and if I time it right, I timed it right to be ready on the 11th of October. So I'll get it out to you guys that week.
Very nice. All right, Mash. Good checking in. Good to hear from you. We'll get back to you in just a second. Let's go check in with Hoppy down there in Orlando. Hoppy, man, I hope it's still warm down there.
Yeah, I think today was a high of 90.
Ooh, that's gold bond status.
Oof.
We don't, I mean, it doesn't really get cold, and we don't ever really get cold. We have cold fronts. So, like, we had one random day on October 30th, like 9 years ago, where it was 20 degrees out of nowhere for like a day. And, like, I had to put my daughter at the time, was like 4 months old, 3 months old or something, and I had no clothes for her. So I put her in a costume that she looked like a giant flower, and I had to go buy her clothes. But then, like all our, like you don't buy long sleeve Halloween shirts because you never get to wear them unless you have some free cold front. But I actually went to the 10 Barrel in Portland. I didn't know it was owned by InBev, and I found out after we went, and I bought a shirt there. And then I was like, son of a bitch, the only shirt I bought in Portland, and it's InBev, but it's got the, how they all have, there's so many of those VW vans out there. And it's got the VW van on it, and my kid's got a kid meal, and it came with a Frisbee that says 10 Barrel Brewing Company. And it was good, and we enjoyed it. And then we found out, yeah, they're not the nicest. They're not very liked in San Diego, too. They had the same kind of situation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But, yeah. I am drinking a craft brewery Oktoberfest, though, from Three Sons Brewing in Dania Beach, which is right between Fort Lauderdale and Miami. Not too far from Joe Robbie. It's really good. I like it. Very good. And that's about all I got going on here. Not too much. We've been laying low.
Much delicious. So delicious. Much delicious.
You got a trip
What do you
coming
mean
up
that much?
soon.
Yeah, you're about to go somewhere fancy this weekend.
Yes, I literally 5 minutes ago got my negative COVID test so we can fly to Jamaica. So we're heading to Jamaica on Friday. So
Ooh, I wanna take you.
I will be drinking lots of Red Stripe. So hooray, beer. That's going to
Give
be
me a
my
Red Stripe
drink.
Mountain. What was it? Wasn't there a commercial or something for Red Stripe? I can't remember now. I'm just gonna come off.
Yeah,
as
and they go,
insensitive.
hooray, beer.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to go to the brewery, but I don't think we're going to be allowed to leave the resort. But there's like a group of us going, and so we're just going to get drunk at the hotel for 3-4 days in a row and snorkel off the beach. So we'll be fine. We're escaping.
You can't leave the resort?
I don't think so. They're on like high alert COVID status or something. So then, like, because we planned this trip right when COVID was going, like doing not, well, COVID was doing bad. We were doing good. And this was like, I've said it many times, we were supposed to be at Oktoberfest this year. So this was our backup plan because my very close friend Erica turns 40 tomorrow. So we're celebrating her 40th. And so this was our backup trip. And then when COVID started going crazy again, we're all like, should we go? Shouldn't we go? But then one of our friends went to this resort a few months ago. She's like, they're being very careful, but we're probably not going to be able to leave the resort. And all of us are like, we don't care. We just want to go somewhere. We just want to hang out together.
At that point, it's just the principle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody's getting their negative COVID test this week, and we're all meeting up in Jamaica on Friday. So, and I heard they have Guinness everywhere. So I'm hoping that the hotel has Guinness. I wanted to go to the Red Stripe Brewery, but I don't even think that they're open for tours, even if we could leave the hotel.
Speaking of Guinness, shout out to Brewwitch. Apparently, Guinness is opening up some sort of operation in Chicago.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
She was like, I want to apply to that. And I was like, dude, do it. Like,
Yeah.
why not?
Wow.
Yeah,
I really
that's
need to get to Chicago.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool. I haven't heard all the details, but it definitely sounds like that they are gonna do something, maybe brewery operations, brewing, maybe one of the first locations in the United States for those guys. So, yeah, that'd be pretty
Don't
cool.
they have one in the Northeast? Don't they have a Guinness somewhere by where Matt likes?
Do they?
I can't remember. Honestly,
I thought they did. I can look it up
I
and
don't think they
verify that.
do. No, they definitely don't have a Guinness brewery around me at all. Otherwise, I definitely would have gone to it with my dad. Um,
I think my friend Ian's been there. That's what I think. Don't quote me on that though. I
Yeah.
will look it up.
So I cracked open another one. Our title tonight is Oktoberfest. I had to crack open another one. This is Firestone Walker Oktoberfest Oak Ale Aged Lager, and it's a phenomenal beer. If you get a chance, find this one on the shelves. The guys at the local bottle shop said they just got it in recently, so it's probably out there somewhere. Great beer. Firestone Walker does some good stuff. I really enjoy and appreciate a lot of what those guys do at their brewery as well.
yeah, they do pretty good stuff. It is nice this time of year. I forgot, I love a really good IPA. Don't get me wrong. I love IPAs. I love, really good lager. But I think what I love about this time of year so much is I feel as though beer actually starts to have a lot of different flavors and things again, or just have that flavor at this point. Once fall and Oktoberfest hits, starts again, the Oktoberfest brings back that malty caramel flavor. Then you roll into like your fall time beers, which rolls into the stouts. With stouts, you can do pretty much anything with. And so this time of year is just supreme for beer. And I think that's why I get so excited for it too, because I feel like there's just more flavor than it's summer. It's hot as hell outside. Like,
When they just push blonde beers. I feel
yeah,
like all summer.
blondes, which are good, but they're kind of watered down. Lagers are good, but after a while, they all kind of taste the same to me.
Yep.
And then IPAs, there's only so much you can do with an IPA. So yeah, while
You shut
stouts
your
and
mouth.
things like that. I love a good hazy. I love a good hazy.
Hobby's starting to get bossy now
those.
around the IPA. She's starting to
But
take
before I
offense
go
to
ahead
some
and
of
let
those.
the
Yeah.
Us
Yes,
Hayes
really
boys are
positive.
victims in this beer community. So there is a Guinness brewery in Baltimore.
Is there?
Oh,
They
Frizz,
opened
man,
in
I've flown through.
2018.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I've flown through there multiple times for deployment, so I could have stayed the night and gone to the Guinness Brewery then. Damn,
Nice.
Well, now add it to your to-do list.
Yep.
I guess so.
Yeah, I definitely relate to what you're saying, Mash. I think for me, what it is we finally get the malts back in the beer, right in the falls.
Yeah,
This beer that I'm drinking, even though they call it a lager, it is. I mean, you can see it's not exactly a lager, even in color. A little bit more
Well,
caramel.
the German style lager.
Yeah. So it's definitely got it's more sweet and got more of the malty flavors to it, and that is, like you said, man, that's kind of the door is open, and we're soon in the stout season. And I sent everybody a message in our Discord, and I don't think Hoppy's seen it yet. But Hoppy, I just realized the other day that Bourbon County stout bottle that you sent me is a 2014.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
I took all the notifications off my phone one
Oh,
day.
I
need
think
to
I
put
still
those
have
back
that
on.
one.
a 2014 one.
Yeah, I think I still have that because you
Man.
sent me one as well, or
I
sent
am-
me home. With
I don't
it or
know what
something.
year. Yours might be a little bit newer, but yeah, because when I came into that like care package of like all these old amazing stouts, like I have more from 2014 barrel aged bourbon barrel aged as well.
Nice.
So I need to start cracking some of those open on some of these episodes, but then I'll just be trashed by the time we're
Yeah.
getting geeks.
Yeah, I will definitely save that for one of the episodes. But that, for me, my favorite season is obviously the stout seasons. But I'm pretty, I wouldn't say religious about it, but I definitely, I won't look in the refrigerator and see one of my favorite stouts and open it up during the summer. That's kind of a waste to me. I don't know. It's hard for me to drink or enjoy a good stout in the summertime like that. It's one
So
of
it
those.
could be 90 degrees in December, so I'm gonna drink what I want to drink.
Yeah, you don't have much
Oh,
of a
I mean,
choice.
I'm the same way. I'll drink a stout in the summer, but also this time of years you can crank a fire again. Like fire season in Idaho is over,
Oh yeah.
so like you can go out back, get your fire pit up, and honestly, they just cut down the tree outside my work. So I took that entire tree. It's in pieces, but I got that tree. I brought that bitch back to my garage. So I gotta go out there with my axe, chop it up. I got firewood until next summer now.
I
Like
love
Captain
it.
America.
So
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I
I'm
love
straight
it.
ready to like light some fires on the back porch, drink some good beers, and that's all I need.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
For real, I was sitting there one day. I'm just sitting at my desk, and all I hear is like this buzz saw going. I was like, "What the hell?" I look out and they're cutting down this tree, and I went outside and I was like, "Is this wood still good?" And I felt the perfect wood, and I was like, "Swoop!" Brought the car around, threw the tree in the back, and I took it home. That's free wood.
The people out there doing the cleanup and cutting up the trees, like, man, we ain't even got to worry about hauling it off. Just
Yeah.
leave
No,
it out
they
here
were
in
like,
the
we're
curb.
just going to take it
Win-win.
out here to this random corner of the base where we put like this brush all together and the firefighters practice on it. So I was like, all right, well, I'm taking this tree and I'm going home with this tree.
That's awesome. But yeah, fire season is definitely in full bloom. Tomorrow at the game, as a matter of fact, it's going to be a low of 38 degrees here, and
Holy shit.
I don't know if I'm quite prepared for that yet, but I'll find out tomorrow at the football game for sure. It's going to be perfect football weather.
Is that normal for the end of September?
Yeah, it can. Matter of fact, up on Mount Mitchell, it's only maybe 8 miles from here as a crow flies. They had snow flurries up there today, so first snow's already fallen in North Carolina mountains. So it'll start to get cold pretty quickly. At work, obviously, all the Florida people that come up and stay at the club for the season are all bundled up and getting ready to head back south. But yeah, it's this is my favorite time of the season.
Honestly, same. Oh man, football is back too. That's another thing is like now football is back and week 1 is off to a great start. The Packers are 1-0. You know, they beat the shit out of the Lions this past week.
Hey,
We're ready to go.
no, they're not 1-0.
Yes, they are. What are you talking about? Yes, they are.
They got spanked hard by the Saints, right? Wasn't that the Saints they lost to?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they got
No, week 1 was this week. That was preseason.
yeah.
That was
they
week
got
4 of preseason.
They got spanked pretty hard by the Saints. And to be honest with you, we had some friends that left the game up here Saturday and went to the Panthers game Sunday. The Panthers are playing the Saints, and I said, man, yeah, and they beat the hell out of the Saints. I'm pretty surprised. So I don't know what's going on with the Saints, but
I'm not. If anybody has spent 5 seconds, like this is my favorite thing. Everybody reacts to week 1 like, oh my god, but it's like just look at the players, look at all that. That and half the Saints coaching staff had COVID. So
what, this past week?
yeah, some of their coaches were out with COVID.
I didn't realize that. I think they might have a pretty good team, though, to be honest with you. Saints always are good, but Packers, I was surprised. So I'll be honest with you. I have 2 teams in the NFL that I keep up with. Lions, obviously, number 1, because that's where I grew up. Packers are number 2. I'm a big Packers fan. Love Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm always pulling for the Lions when they play each other, but if it's any other week, obviously I'm a Packers fan. So it doesn't really break my heart to see the Packers win because that was kind of expected. But
Don't stop. I'm so close.
yeah, but I hated to see them lose against the Saints, though, man. They definitely didn't look like the team that they should be out there.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. It's the first couple of seasons or weeks of the season are always hard to gauge because you have a lot of people who don't play in preseason or injuries happen. You know, they're feeling each other, and so from this week on is when teams really start to get their foothold. And if the Packers can go out and their defense can pull their head out of their ass and they can actually start playing, you know, like they have been, you know, pretty well last year, then we'll see what happens. They never play in Florida well, and they never play in California well. So I'm interested to see what happens Sunday night against the Niners. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways.
Hey, before we check in with Hoppy on beer school, I think she's got a little Oktoberfest
This
news
episode brought to you by
or school
Happy
for
Hour
us.
Vitamins.
Yeah, go check out Happy Hour. There you go, Mash. Go ahead with it.
This episode's brought to you by Happy Hour Vitamins. Are you ready to go out for a night of drinking? Are you old like us now and don't want to feel hungover the next day? Well, guess what? We got just the thing for you. Happy Hour Vitamins. Pop 2 before you go out drinking and wake up feeling like you're 18 years old again. Go to happyhourvitamins.com. Enter promo code HopsNews.
Damn, he crushed it. It's like, did you write that down or something?
That was straight from the top of my head.
Yeah, but no shit. Go check out Happy Hour Vitamins because I crush them at the tailgates and they make it worth it every time you take some for sure. Hoppy, you good with? I think you have a beer school about Oktoberfest.
So I did a full-on one about Oktoberfest last year, so I still have that. I can post the link in there. So I did do a little one on pumpkin beers.
There we go.
So I got
Pumpkin
some
beers.
actual history on pumpkin
The
beers.
Pumpkin King.
I'm
Break out the
Jack.
glasses.
Okay.
Okay.
So, pumpkin beer, the most basic of all the beer options, yet possibly the most American. If you've been listening to us for a while, then you may remember during our 4th of July 2020 Beer School episode that George Washington is believed to have actually brewed pumpkin beer. However, if he did it, it was most likely that you wouldn't even recognize it as a pumpkin beer today. The reason for this was that pumpkin that was added while brewing back then was done so as a substitute for malt because they did not have access to malted barley when they first arrived in America. So the settlers needed another fermentable sugar. Pumpkins were new to settlers and readily available, so in the brew kettle they went. The recipe found from George Washington referenced a gourd, and with how prevalent pumpkins were to brewing then and many other recipes, it is assumed said gourd was a pumpkin. As people began to be able to purchase or grow or make malted barley worthy of beer, the pumpkin beer ingredient began to fade. So how did a beer recipe from America's first president get turned into the most controversial and basic beer style there is today? Well, back in the 80s, a California microbrewery decided they wanted to make a George Washington pumpkin beer. They followed his recipe, and the meat of the pumpkin fermented like regular brew grain, and it tasted like a normal beer. So what to do when you actually wanted pumpkin flavor? You just add a shit ton of pumpkin pie spice, and voila, pumpkin beer was reborn. This brewery is actually still open today in Hayward, California, and they still brew this pumpkin beer. So if you're ever in the area in fall, make sure to stop at Buffalo Bill's Brewery and order the America's Original Pumpkin Ale, although that name is incredibly misleading and not at all correct. So how is pumpkin beer brewed in the year of our Lord 2021? However the hell the brewer wants. Some add real pumpkin, some do puree, some add butternut squash, and some just add spices. Some throw in coffee and maple syrup. The style differs now as well. You can do porters, stouts, blonde ales, and everything in between. It all comes down to the flavor the brewer wants and experimentation. So my last bit of school here is just my personal opinion and a recent realization I had. Pumpkin beers got me into craft beer, so thank you, Shipyard Pumpkinhead. Then over the last few years, I felt like I was not as big of a fan of pumpkin beers and could not drink more than one in a sitting. I honestly believe that this is because all the pumpkin beers have subtly turned into pumpkin spice latte beers and are a little too sweet for me. So if you are not a huge on the sweet pumpkin beer fan, do a double take at the label next time and find one that just says pumpkin. Pumpkinhead is just pumpkin, so that one I still really like.
Hold on. Never mind. I'm going to let you finish, but I do have something to say.
I'm almost done. All right, and that's all I got on this most basic of beer styles. Cheers, bitches. That's it. I'm done.
So,
cheers, bitches. Mash.
I have a pumpkin spice latte blonde stout sitting in the fridge for you and crew.
Oh, shit.
It
A
literally,
blonde stout.
I swear on all that is holy in this world that it smells like a pumpkin spice coffee and it tastes like one as well. And it's really, really good.
Right.
I honestly, it's probably one of the better ones that I have personally tasted when it comes to
Well, I
something
feel
like that.
With all beer styles, really, like I'm always down to try it, but I felt like a lot of them that I noticed I wasn't really liking that I felt were too sweet were pumpkin spice latte. Like the one I had last night actually was from Three Sons and it was pumpkin spice latte. And it was good, but it was a little too sweet to where like I wouldn't have a second one. Whereas
This
Pumpkinhead, I mean, you can really keep drinking
Oh my
that.
god! Please, somebody. All I want for my birthday is like a box full of Pumpkinhead or something. So if anybody's out there listening, my birthday is October 15th, and literally all I want is a box of fucking Pumpkinhead, dude. So
Box of fucking Pumpkinhead. Oh, you went
Listen,
classic. That's what I should have
nice.
got.
I like that. I will say though
I
that
had
this
to.
pumpkin spice blonde stout it isn't very sweet. You get a lot of the coffee notes and stuff. So I think you would like this one.
Well, I love coffee and beer. It's just when and I love pumpkin spice lattes from Starbucks, but I don't know, just a lot of,
had
and
one
some
this
of the
morning.
ones have been good, but all the ones I haven't liked have been pumpkin spice latte, if that makes sense. It's like all Pilsners are lagers, but not all lagers are Pilsners.
I think what the problem is
Same
that
logic.
people they go too heavy-handed on the pumpkin, on like the spices,
Yeah.
because they think they really
Yeah.
need to get that flavor out. When you really don't, like pumpkin, like nutmeg, allspice, cinnamon, and pumpkins, all that. Like you don't need to put very much in there,
Yeah.
especially if you're putting puree or a real pumpkin in there. Then maybe add a little bit, but like for me, I put just like a gram, if that, in this beer, and that was for 5 gallons. So like a little bit goes a very long way, and that's what a lot of breweries don't realize. They want to just pour it in there, but like pumpkin everything. Nah, dude,
Well,
there
and
is such thing as too
people
much.
do like that.
Oh yeah, but even for me though, I feel like that goes way too far personally. Like I don't like when it's overpowering like that. You got to have it just subtle on the back end, I think.
Right. I did, for anybody who's interested in the Oktoberfest Beer School, I did just throw that link into the chat, and there's a link to the video, or you can read the article. I'll throw it into the YouTube as well. But yeah, if anybody has any questions either, I went over the history of it. I went over the difference between a Marzen and an Oktoberfest and an Oktoberfest beer. Like there's different tiers and certain, requirements to be considered an Oktoberfest beer, and lots of fun stuff.
Yep.
I do have a quick plug whenever are.
Go ahead, Mash.
You know what this weekend
Floor's
is?
all
folks?
yours.
If you are near Atlanta, Georgia, do you know what this weekend is?
Let's go to check in with Mash out in Mountain Home, Idaho. What is this weekend, Mash?
This weekend is Pontoon Brewing's Brownie Bash. Remember last year when they were going to have a Brownie Bash and they got canceled? This year, it is not canceled. You do need vaccination proof or negative COVID test. But, dude, the breweries that they have come in there, so you have 903, Three Sons, Bramari, Bottle
Drinking
Logic.
Three Sons.
Yeah, Microphone, Calusa, Recycled Variants,
Calusa too?
Woven Water. Oh, yeah. Good Word, Corporate Ladder, Monday Night Brewing is going to be there. Let me see. Tampa Bay Brewing is going to be there. Weathered Souls will be there. Civil Society, Vitamin C, Tripping Animals, Tactical. So a lot of wicked good breweries are going to be there.
All my favorite Florida breweries.
Yeah, honestly, I know Brad is going to be there, but this also proceeds go to Bottle Share as well. So if you know anything about Bottle Share, you've been following us, then proceeds also go to Bottle Share. And headlining that event is Nappy Roots. So if you're a hip hop fan and know who Nappy Roots is, like a lot of us probably should, they're headlining this event. So Sean, my man from Pontoon, like killed it. The lineup is going to be amazing this year, and there's like just a mega ton of breweries. It's going to support Bottle Share, and hey, if you can get out to it, get a ticket because it's going to be a great time. I have one of the Brownie Bash bottles from last year still sitting in my fridge that I need to pop open, but I also am cherishing that with all of my being because it's just precious. And that's all I have.
Yeah, that looks like a tremendous lineup, and I'll put it out there in full transparency. I tried to talk these guys into going, but they didn't want to go.
It's not that I don't want to go. She's going to be in Jamaica, and then I'm out in Idaho, and it was wicked expensive to fly out there for a weekend. And my wife was like, "Yeah, not happening."
Yeah, but we tried. It'd have been a good time. But
also,
yeah, if you're in the area and you can make it to that, I promise you won't regret that time. That's a fabulous lineup, both music and breweries that are going to be there.
Out there with 4 beers a piece. Bring a designated driver. First and foremost, 2 things you need: a DD and some happy hour vitamins, because you're going to need them after that event. I promise you that. Some happy hour vitamins. And then hit up a Waffle House afterwards, for God's sakes.
Fuck yeah.
Get to the damn Waffle House.
Yeah. And a Bojangles.
Or Bojangles.
Yeah,
do they have Cookout in Atlanta?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they have
then
Cookout.
go get a milkshake from Cookout. Oh, mother of God. They're Cookout milkshakes, my friends.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You guys I don't think they talked about it much on on their podcast or the follow-up that they done, but when Big Daddy and Lucky was here, the whole conversation that Sunday when we were recording their episode, when we weren't on air and when we were golfing, was how they were going to find a Bojangles to go get some chicken and biscuits.
You can find them anywheres out there.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever even been to Bojangles.
What?
Why?
We have them. I don't know. It just never came up.
It's the best
I've
chicken in the country. Hands down.
It's all right. That's right. My wife loves Bojangles. I'm obviously a Cookout Waffle House guy though, so.
I've never even heard of Cookout. Well, actually, I think I heard a Cookout on here one time.
Yeah, because I plug it every chance I get.
Oh, there you go.
It's like a what do they call those? A protein in 2 sides. It's kind of like what Cookout is, but 2 proteins in a side. So you get a choice of a burger and corn dogs and fries Yeah, it's just a crazy.
It's a fast food joint, man.
Yeah, and it's cheap. I mean, their trays are what, $6 or $7?
Oh, dude, so cheap.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
God,
it's clearly
dirt.
quality.
Oh,
It's
is
good.
top
It
notch.
is legit good. Like hell yeah. Like if you're gonna sit, I would go to these
Best
places
thing you can
over
get out of the
Chick-fil-A.
MDI truck.
Yeah, like dead ass. I would choose these places over Chick-fil-A. That's how good they are.
Yeah, it's a toss-up. I'll be honest with you. We eat cookout at least once a month. I mean, it's just something that's quick. You can run through and grab a tray for dinner or lunch, and yeah, it's good. It's good food. I don't know if it's above Chick-fil-A yet, though.
To be fair, I have Chick-fil-A here, so that's probably just me being biased because
Yeah.
I don't have those options here.
Hoppy's probably got Chick-fil-A down there. Hoppy, you crush some Chick-fil-A, though, huh?
Oh, we definitely have Chick-fil-A, yeah.
Crushing the shit out of it, ain't you, down there in Florida?
I'm so over Chick-fil-A. I feel like I got worn out with my kids. I used to like it, but I'm over it. It used to be great when my oldest was little because I was, a single mom in law school, and I would go there and sit there for hours while she was on the indoor playground, and they would come and refill my coffee, and they were so nice. And because in Florida you can't take your kid to a playground outside for more than 15 minutes before the slide's burning them.
Very true.
Yeah.
Everybody's still just awkwardly staring at me, by the way. This is weird.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I see you on the
Should've waved back.
Yeah, I see that. I see it on the preview. I forgot all about you, Mash. I left you kind of hanging there for sure.
Oh, that's okay.
But I do want to say real quick, for anybody who's not familiar with Florida breweries, the Florida breweries that are attending Brownie Bash are like top notch. Like
They're
I'm not even kidding. Like,
Amazing. We've had them all, yeah.
yeah, Calusa, Tripping Animals, Tactical. Well, that's why I tagged Chris when Chris shared it. I'm like, oh, please talk to Tactical and do a collab with them. Like, I will be at that collab release if you can make that happen.
Yeah.
I love
Honestly,
their
me
beer.
too. I actually have their Blarg Tacticals. Blarg is in my fridge still too. I got that from when I came and visited in April.
Did I send you
Nice.
a Admiral Akbar? It's untapped.
No, not
I
yet.
didn't send you one of those? Okay.
No,
then
you said you put
because
one
I have one
aside.
more in there, and I'm like, I feel like this is for someone, so it's for you.
Hi, that's me.
It's
Anyways.
untapped.
Oktoberfest
Goose.
season though. What? Oh man, there's a lot of Oktoberfest happening. Payette Brewing just had their Oktoberfest this past weekend, and then next week Powder House, a German brewery in Boise, is having their big Oktoberfest. So I'm trying to get out to their Oktoberfest next weekend. I went last year. They had like axe throwing. Like, man, the food was delicious. So back on the topic of Oktoberfest, yeah, I'm hoping to get out there and get some footage and just get out there in general, to be honest with you, because I'm ready. I want to go to things like this again, man.
Yeah.
Sooner rather than later.
I mean, for real. It was nice because at the Boise State game, I was able to go because, I was sitting away from everybody because, COVID's still pretty bad here and it's affecting kids. So that's why we're still just erring on the side of caution. But, man, I'm getting antsy, and I know it sucks, but just being able to go to an outside event. I don't even like people, but being in that atmosphere,
I don't even like people.
I don't want to be around people to like interact with people, but I just want to be in that atmosphere where I'm drinking beers and like people are just enjoying life, and that's the cutest freaking dog.
So
The dog's bigger every time we see her.
I know, it really is.
he's getting big for sure. So next week he's going away to his training for 6 weeks. So the family is all like
Wow.
like the family members going away. So yeah, he's definitely getting bigger. He's
Come back a
He
whole
goes to
new man.
Yeah.
Training for 6 weeks? Wow.
Yeah, he's going to basic training. He's going to go become like a bomb dog. You didn't know?
No, he's not gonna, not quite that level, but he'll come back a better dog for sure.
I need to send my dog to that. Jesus.
Yeah.
Send my 4-year-old to that.
My 2-year-old and the dog.
Yeah.
There's a pretty good trainer just down the road from here that I was a client of mine when I was in business advising, and they do a lot of training. And one of their, I guess, what they're known for mainly is kind of just like family pet training. Like they train them for on and off the leash type stuff. So looking forward to that. He's growing and kind of a handful on the leash right now, so I can't wait for him to go and get that training.
Nice. I've always wanted to have a dog that would be off his leash to when I go hiking or whatever.
Yep.
It's like have him with me, but my
Yeah.
dogs are just dumb.
Yep. Yeah.
God, so dumb. And we've been trying. We like the one dog's trained. He just out of a cannon is how he acts anytime he sees anything.
Yeah, Yeah.
Well, we had one that was very good. You could let him off and he'd come back and he'd stay with you, but he wasn't fixed because he had a heart condition and he couldn't get fixed. So other
what he
male
told you
dogs would
anyways.
Mm.
attack. Well, later when he needed 57 stitches, the vet figured it out, but whatever. But like other male dogs would attack him, and when he was older, like he didn't give a crap about other dogs, but we still could never bring him anywhere. Anytime I see people with dogs out in public, I'm like, how are you doing that?
I know, I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're hoping to get to. Hofbrau. I posted that I don't have Brewwitch on tonight. Hofbrau
No, I'm like
Oktoberfest
low-key-
beer.
Sounds right to me.
She's
Hofbrau.
like getting ready to go back to like Europe and stuff. It kind of sucks.
Yeah. But this is actually a really good beer. I've not had this one before. And that's when I went into the beer store. I'm like, give me 2 kind of hot Oktoberfest beers and give me a couple of kind of classic beers. And he pulled this one out and another one I don't know that I'm going to get to tonight, so I'll show it. Anger.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I've seen that before. Yep.
And they do the Celebrator too. That's really good at Christmas time.
But this beer, this one, the Hofbrau is actually, I mean, you look at it, that's a lager, right? Like that's the traditional
that's
lager
light, yeah.
colors. But it's pretty sweet. I would dare say it's probably sweeter than the other one that I had. That had a lot of malts in it, but definitely a good beer. Phenomenal beer for sure.
The ones that are more
Absolutely.
amber tend to be Marzens, and they tend to be a little bit higher ABV.
Yeah.
Patrick said you were pronouncing that correctly, by the way.
Hofbrau. That's right. We got, I think I can see some of our chats in there.
That one's a fest beer.
Yeah.
Oktoberfest beer.
Yep.
That's one of the official Oktoberfest ones because it is. I'm looking at my notes from last year.
That was
Yeah,
one of them,
you
huh?
can Take notes,
Yes.
ladies and gents.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a tasty one for sure. I like the color. I like how light it is. And it's becoming a little bit more flavorful, obviously, than a standard lager because we are getting into
butt.
those. Yeah.
Well, I was like, why does the inside of this hat look like a butt?
You gotta hold your hand. I know because you can't squeeze it either. Like it's supposed to be
That's
like
just how it is.
you can't even grab it. It has the things to grab it, and you can't grab it.
Damn, this hat about to make me act up tonight.
Fool.
Hey, we've got quite a crew in the chat. We've got obviously Hoppy Mommy's mommy. We've got Patrick, Jared. We've got Jared in there. I just seen Lucky. What was it that Lucky said? We've got Dan Wilson's in there. Lucky just got home, guys. And what did Lucky say? I'm trying to get down to where
Lucky
Lucky
said, "I love you guys," and then Lucky said that he's pretty sure he got a cold on the first day. He went to the Ryder Cup and was not dressed properly.
Oh man, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
That's not how this works. You don't get a cold like that.
Yeah, Lucky was taken in the Ryder Cup up there. He had. I just listened to this week's episode Tuesday from the Feeling Lucky crew. Sounds like Big Daddy made a trip back to Milwaukee. Had a great time. It sounds like they were pretty hungover when they were recording. So if you want to go check those guys' episode out, it's always a good time to hear what those guys are up to. I think they went and checked out Dave Chappelle. Lucky checked out one of his shows recently. So go listen to those
That's
guys. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, and the recent one was about Norm Macdonald.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He passed away last week, which sucks, man, because he was in like a lot of stuff growing up. Most notably, obviously, everybody knows him as Turd Ferguson from Saturday Night Live, that skit. So
Well, he
I
did
probably-
the Weekend Update too. I remember watching
Yeah.
that as a kid.
he did a lot of Saturday Night Live stuff, and I can remember just quoting half of his lines from Saturday Night Live as a kid, and he was like everywhere.
He was
Really?
in all the Adam Sandler movies. Well, not all of them, but quite a lot of them.
Yeah.
I think I recognize the name. I don't know that I could pick out his face.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well,
But I'm-
Josh didn't know at first, and I was like, he's in Billy Madison, and he's like,
Yeah,
as soon as I
he's in
said that, he's
everything.
like, oh yeah.
He's got a very distinct voice.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
Yeah.
it's not like nasally, but, he's got a very distinct voice. And he was always like super hilarious and everything like that. And I loved everything he acted in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And no matter what he says, he sounds like he's mocking someone.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because, Lucky and Big Daddy are kind of the younger guys of the group, right? But they were pretty familiar with this guy. I mean, obviously they like the stand-up comedy and like comedies and stuff like that, but they definitely knew a lot more about him than I did just listening to it. But it was kind of funny how, young guys like that are following guys that are 60 years old in stand-up comics that that they recognize. But they had talked about a lot of his stuff. If you're into comics or anything like that, stand-up comedy, go check out their episode, and you'll learn more about him than I knew about going into it, for sure.
No doubt.
But I will tell you that they went to the Dave Chappelle show, and they went to another one up there, a lesser-known comic, and Dave Chappelle was fucked up, beyond fucked up, and his show wasn't good. I mean,
no, it wasn't good. That's
yeah. Yeah. Lucky and Jared from the Feeling Lucky show went to that show, and they said like the first 15 minutes of it was just hilarious, but the last 30 minutes of it, he was just so fucking gone. It wasn't as good as the first part of it. So,
he'll smoke and drink while he's up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. Never meet your heroes, kids.
Yeah, for sure. Especially, and they said obviously a Dave Chappelle show ticket is probably not cheap. I'm not into that stand-up comic stuff,
without
but
a doubt.
I'm sure that was a pretty price to pay.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially these days where he just makes random appearances for the most part. He doesn't full on go on tour. So I mean, something like that, a couple $100, too easy.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go around the horn, check in with your partying. What do we had to look forward to in partying shots from the crew? Let's start with Hoppy. Hoppy, Hops Geeks. What's coming up with Hops Geeks, and where can people find you?
So we just dropped our Doom Patrol episode. That's a show on HBO Max with Brendan Fraser, and his catchphrase is "What the fuck?" So we did some comic book origin on that, and we did a little catch up for season 1 and 2 because season 3 drops tomorrow. And then actually tonight, I believe we're recording with a beer up and coming podcast called What the Pint. So we're going to talk with them about beer and maybe a little Spider-Man. So we'll see about that. But honestly, the next month we're probably going to be putting out a lot of spooky stuff. Some Nightmare Before Christmas, some I don't know, Rocky Horror Picture Show. Oh, Scream. We talked about Scream. They got a new Halloween movie coming out. So it's about to get real spooky up in Hops Geek News. And it's Hops Geek News on the Instagram and the TikTok, which I still do not understand at all. And then on Twitter, it's Geek Hops. I think I'm just too old. I'm pushing 40 here, kids. I can't do the TikTok.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it's a TikTok. I think my wife, or at least my wife and my daughter, I think, are both on it, and they keep sending me like links to them, and I'm like, I don't have the app, and they're like, well, you need to get it. There's such funny shit.
You don't have to have the app. You can just watch it without the app.
That's what they tell me, and they obviously trying to persuade me to get on the app or whatever it is. And I'll be honest with you, some of the stuff they send is absolutely hilarious, but I
spend way too much time on that app.
Do you?
Oh, dude, I just scroll videos all day. Hell yeah,
That's awesome, man. I think Lakeland, our daughter, has put some things on there. My wife has shown me some things that she's put on there. So it's just kind of funny for me, being a kid that's that young, that you can use technology like that and kind of create videos like that already is pretty impressive. So I'm impressed by that.
Yeah.
Mash, what do we had to look forward to from Geeks, and where can people find you?
I think Lauren pretty much covered it. Yeah. I don't think I have anything to add other than go to hopsgeeknews.threadless.com. We got a shit ton of merch out there, so peep that. We've got a lot of variety, which is pretty rad. And yeah, that's about all I got. Just catch me on Instagram at Matthew Tyler with 2 R's because I'm basic. And stay tuned for more pumpkin spice.
Matthew Tyler with 2 R's because I'm basic. Damn, I love that one. That one's a new one, Mash. You got to close out with that all the time now.
It's only for fall. You can't say it any other time of the year.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, and real quick, as you may or may not know, Sam Adams is releasing their Utopias. This is kind of a little bit of a beer news before we jump off of here. Utopias is coming out. Obviously, if you follow any sort of beer news, I'm sure you've heard it. It's probably one of the highest ABV beers that are, I guess, brewed. It's 28% by volume. It's 25.4 ounces in a bottle. And I didn't know this, and I just shared this with Mash. The special ingredient in this beer is Vermont maple syrup.
So good.
Pretty amazing. IBUs 45, calories 175. It's not sold or shipped to 15 states. In those 15 states is Idaho and North Carolina. So I definitely
look. If somebody can get their hands on it, we will pay you.
Wait, do you have a price tag for it though? Because I've heard it's like insane.
Does anybody know in the chat? Let's check it out at the chat real quick. We'll give it a couple minutes to hit the Facebook chat, because there's usually somebody in there that knows the answers to what we're looking for. Samuel Adams Utopias. What is it going for on the market? Like, if you do find a bottle,
$240.
can you buy it right now, Mash?
Can you buy it right now?
Like, is it available? Like, can you put it in a cart and buy it?
I thought you were asking him. I'm like, and that's the last time we ever saw him.
Yeah.
It doesn't say.
Like, anybody that's listening, if you come up with a bottle and it's a reasonable price, I will pay for it. And what I will do is I'll tuck it away until, I guess,
October 11th.
Yeah, the 4 or 5 of us. That's when it comes out?
October 11th it releases. So that's another good birthday gift if you guys want to send them my way.
Yeah.
Would you rather one bottle of that or 700 bottles of Shipyard?
Oh, 700 bottles of Shipyard. I can bathe in
Okay,
that.
because I feel like that's going to be the price comparison.
He can bathe in it. That's a good That's
you gotta make
awesome.
a TikTok if you do that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely for sure. But serious, if anybody listening comes across one and can pick one up reasonably, shoot me a message. I'm happy to reimburse you. I would probably tuck it away and save it for when the group of us, the crew, can get together and give that a sample and try that. But if anybody out there does come across one or has a line on one,
holla at you boys.
Yeah, I mean, $200. I'd go out on a limb for it just to say I've tried it and share it with the group.
Texting my mom actually right now and letting her know to try to find it.
Nice. Yeah, happy to reimburse and buy it from whoever picks it up for sure. I think it'd be one of those. I think it'd just be fun to say you had one, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the other beers that are out there that everybody just wants to be a part of it and try it, whether it's the Hetty Toppers or the Pliny's or whatever. Once you've had it once, I'll definitely never pay $200 for a beer again.
Oh God, hell no, no.
But if you could do it once and just say you've done it to try it,
Bucket
I think that'd be
list,
cool. Yeah,
I'll try
for sure.
anything twice. We know this.
I mean, yeah.
Except for a $200 beer. Except for a $200 beer.
You're right. Come on, I do have my
That's fair.
limits.
But I'll easily pay more than $200 for hotel and flight and just to fly to a brewery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's probably a whole nother episode in itself, right? I mean, the amount of money that people will pay for an experience is really unlimited, right? Like, you make the experience, and this is what I don't want to get on this tangent right now because we do need to get off here. But
Disney's proven that.
Yeah, Disney's proven that, and I think that is something that breweries haven't tapped into.
Yeah.
Right? Like, imagine if you could plan an extended vacation to go plan a beer, come up with the recipe, brew the beer, put it into the fermenters. I mean, go through that whole process, and that beer is yours at the end of it. That is an experience that a lot of people, I feel, that maybe not even on our level of enjoying beer would be a part of it. Maybe it's like an Airbnb, that's a part of your package, is to be part of that process in that weekend.
Yeah, I know. I hate to go off on a tangent again, but we have an area called Sanford, and they have multiple breweries that you can walk to. They have a authentic German restaurant. They have a homebrew store, and the homebrew store, they do that where you come, you brew the beer with them, and at the end of the day, you take it home. But yeah, they need that like a package. That would be awesome.
That would be dope.
Especially for some of these, kind of local, craft beer guys that may be on like a 5 or 10 barrel system. I mean, just to bring in a few people on the weekend and say, let's do this and teach them. I just think that the amount of money that people will pay for experiences is ridiculous. I mean, absolutely ridiculous, especially if they can walk away with something that's tangible from that experience and have that memory forever. So I'm sure there's people out there already doing it, but I think that is a place where breweries could really reach out to and say, hey, let's build another business model that will make us different from the rest of the breweries in the area and kind of lean on that. But it'll be interesting to see who does it and who does it well.
We're seeing more hotels, so.
Yeah, for sure. And
Mom is going to search for it, by the way. Just a heads up.
Nice. What state does she live in?
My parents live 20 minutes from Boston. That's how. Yeah, I'm literally
if
from
we're
right
getting it,
outside
I
of
can
Boston.
keep my eyes open too.
Yeah, she can build. It's there. It will go there. We know that.
Yeah.
Finding it is a whole different story, obviously. It would be interesting on this website. Yeah, on this website, it doesn't say how many bottles they release of it or anything like that, but it'll be fun. I'm sure that would be a good time to just be able to grab one and drink it at a table with you guys at some point. But if anybody does come up with and find one, shoot me a text real quick with the price. I'll give you a thumbs up, thumbs down, and then we'll kind of go from there. If it's reasonable, definitely we'll take it. But yeah, it'd be a good time. Hey, appreciate everybody tuning in. Like Mash said, go check out Happy Hour Vitamins. Check out Hops Barons. Those guys doing great things over there. Anybody had anything new with those guys recently? Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance, but
I've had every day I put the maple rub or the coffee rub in my eggs, my breakfast sandwich that I make, and then I use the brine once a week.
Nice.
And, I keep using all that stuff, and the badass barbecue rub I've got still too. So
yeah, go check those.
Regularly.
So good. It's all very good.
Yeah.
Oh, my 9-year-old goes, "Did you use the bad butt rub on the burgers tonight?" So she likes it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, go check those guys out. Always doing great things with us. Hey, appreciate you tuning in with us. Check us out on all of the social media platforms and podcast platforms at Hops News. You can find us there. Check out these guys, Hops Geeks News, on all of our podcast platform and the Feeling Lucky crew. If you listen to Feeling Lucky episodes, make sure your children are not around, please.
Yeah.
They'll learn more about adult life than they need to in a very short order. It doesn't take long in their episodes before you'll wish that you didn't listen with them around. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Go find out your favorite Oktoberfest. Local beers, always some good ones, and kind of the classics. Ask them for the classics.
And Bottle Share. Swing by Bottle Share, thebottleshare.org. Support them as well.
Yeah, if you're in the Atlanta area and you don't check that out this weekend, you're going to hate yourself forever. Appreciate you tuning in.
You're gonna hate yourself.
Cheers.
Joke's on you, I already do.
Yeah. It's like, that's why we're watching you guys. Good episode, guys. Appreciate you joining us tonight. I'm kind of sad because I feel like this is we're approaching the time that Brew Witch will no longer be with us on a regular basis.
I know. I always enjoy her. Like she's just goofy. That's the
Yeah.
best way I can put it. She's just like, I don't know how she's just so quirky that it's always enjoyable that she's on. And so.
Well, I
Yeah.
really love her articles too. Once we get the
Yeah.
website going, like I'm looking forward to her writing more.
Yeah. We will have to make sure that she commits to a time before she leaves that she joins us on an episode for like a going away thing. Because like Mash, she's kind of like your kid sister, but it's more knowledgeable about good beer than I'll ever be.
Yeah.
Right?
She's got some good experience in different areas, yeah, because
Yeah.
she's lived stuff that I've researched.
Yeah, for sure.
Very true.
I love it. Love it. All right, guys. You guys recording tonight?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
recording right after this. I gotta go get a beer and go to the bathroom and make sure the kids are okay.
Nice. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Lauren, I sent you the
Alright.
link, Lauren. See you in a few.
Sweet.
Later, Jay.
Okay.
Cheers.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Cheers.